Well, the outlines of a plan to avoid that government shutdown in a few days now taking shape on Capitol Hill. But will Republicans and Democrats be able to reach a final compromise? Here now, GOP pollster Adam Geller, former pollster for New Jersey Governor Chris Christie, and Alexandra Acker-Lyons joins us, a Democratic consultant. Good to see you both.
Good to be here.
Ladies first, Alexandra, let me start with you. Chad Pergram, who's our veteran Capitol Hill producer, he said, look, even by Washington's standards, the pirouette performed by Harry Reid in the course of 2 days is pretty astonishing. And here it is. Put it up on the screen. Here's what Reid said on Wednesday. The Republicans' so-called compromise, nothing more than the same extreme package the House already handed the Senate, just with a different bow. Both are non-starters in the Senate. Well, suddenly on Friday, just 2 days later, Reid says this. The plan Republicans are floating today sounds like a modified version of what Democrats were talking about. We're glad they think it's a good idea. You know, Alexandra, one moment he's vilifying the plan, the next he thinks it's a genius idea. I mean, that's quite a flip-flop, isn't it?
I mean, let's be clear. The outlines of the plan did change throughout the week. Republicans dropped some of their ideas to cut funding for cancer research and border security and other essential ongoing government-funded programs. So on Friday, it did look like folks were coming to the table, putting some of this politicking aside. Because let's be clear, you know, the outlines of even this 7-month budget proposal and certainly any outlines of a possible continuing resolution aren't what's really at stake here.
Yeah.
We really need both sides to come to the table and really tackle the serious issues. Let's look at
it's really hard
spending.
to do that when you're on vacation for the entire week. Congress was in recess. Hey, Adam, maybe it took 2 days for somebody to actually explain the math to Harry Reid, because in the new Senate, you know, Republicans, they can block any attempt by Democrats to change the House bill. Doesn't that mean that the only way to fund the government is through the House Republicans?
Well, it does mean that, but the reality is that the House Republicans also recognize that, and it's true what Alexandra said. They did change some of the language in their $4 billion cut proposal. And really what that has now is a lot of non-controversial items. I think items that both Republicans and Democrats can agree on. But the math is true. Harry Reid doesn't have enough membership in the Senate to block or fundamentally change the House version of the bill. So the reality is that the Democrats can either vote on the House version or allow a government shutdown.
Alexandra, a couple of days ago, Senator Chuck Schumer took a swipe at the 87 freshman Republicans, kind of scolding them, suggesting, they're too young, too inexperienced to even remember the 95 shutdown that hurt the GOP. But I got to tell you, I took a look at a recent Gallup poll that shows that Americans want the kind of deep spending cuts that Republicans are advocating, and most voters don't think the Democrats' spending freeze goes far enough. Do you think that Schumer is really here misreading the public pulse?
Well, I don't know that that's really the issue, though. I think what he was pointing out is that Republicans have a real civil war in their caucus, and I think that's what we're going to continue to see play out over these budget debates. Not only the 87 freshman lawmakers, but some of the other more conservative Tea Party activists in the House are potentially going to hold the Republican majority hostage. I think that's, for me, really where the action is on the Hill right now, is within the House Republican caucus.
Well, you know,
and we'll
the conditions are
we'll
dramatically different than 1995. I remember it well. You know, the Republicans blinked back then, and Clinton won the PR battle and Newt Gingrich didn't. But Adam, you know, there's a lot of demagoguing going on about how draconian the spending cuts are and the Republicans' $61 billion reduction package. When I last talked on the air with Democrat Kirsten Powers, she's one of our terrific analysts, she was really bemoaning the Republican cuts in home heating assistance for low-income people. But you looked at the president's proposal for the 2012 budget. Didn't he propose the same thing?
Well, not only did he propose that, but he's actually taken a lot of heat from the left on that. Not only that, but, you know, I will give President Obama this. He's proposed about $25 billion in spending cuts for next year's budget. Included is cuts in home heating for low-income families.
Education.
Cutting programs out of the Federal Department of Education, and even eliminating coal subsidies, which is also going to be politically problematic for him in some of these, sort of working Rust Belt swing states.
Adam Geller, Alexandra Acker Lyons. Good to see you both. Thanks very much.
Good to be here.
Thanks, Greg.